sounding exquisite.
Oh shit, we back again. What's up, what's happening? Come to the party and bring a friend. Fuck it, I'm bringing 10. Ooh, trying to chat a 10. Big boy trying to chat a 10. She said I was catchy. I said, so tap a man.
Touchdown!
Double cup, wow, I stuck smile when I puff loud. I touch clouds, catching touchdowns in my mind now, cause I'm zoned out. On a porch couch in the cloud. 2 coughs and I'm back now. 2 coughs and I'm packed out. Somebody give me a drink before I gotta sit down. I'm making hits now with a smooth style.
What's up, everybody? The Mega Twins are back in it. It's your boy, Riley Puddin Peters, and the doctor, defensive backs quality control coach, Preston Rowe, the Trash Talk Tailgate. And we have reunited to bring you all of the coverage of the football world that you could probably want. Or maybe not. I don't know. Dr. Preston, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Just got back from a little mini vacation that I took. It's pretty cool. Went to go ride some roller coasters, but I'm back here with the TTT. Riley, it's good to have you back, man.
Oh yeah, dude. It's always fun. You know, it's cool to do fun stuff, bring new people on, introduce the TTT community to a few of our other friends. But there is nothing like when the Mega Twins are back in power. So here we are. And speaking of being in power, let's talk about another football player speeding. And what is the most common? I mean, I guess we can only be thankful for speeding, for taking domestic violence out of the number one spot of football player crimes.
True.
Oh man, the longtime bane of football players. But
well, Riley, you know what was the most shocking thing to me when I first saw this?
He didn't go to Georgia.
Yeah, he's not a Georgia Bulldog.
Yeah, the cop did get him with perfect timing.
Oh no.
That's absolutely right.
Damn.
So Shedeur Sanders, Cleveland Brown rookie Shedeur Sanders, he was caught doing 101 and 65 zone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is devious work out of the rookie. I hope he's that fast on the field. And this is his second in like a month or two, I think is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Twice this month. Yes, yes. The other one, he was 91 in a 65. It's gotta be the same road, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he went 101 and 91 in a 65 both times, respectively. And that's got to be the same road, dude. It's got to be like one road in between where he lives and the practice facility or something.
Mm. Did you also see that Shiloh, his brother who plays for the Bucks, roasted him? He was on an Instagram live type thing, and he was crossing the road, and he was like, "Oh, you got to look both ways because these people be crazy out here, especially Shedeur."
He's like, my brother's going
damn.
crazy. I mean,
roasted by your own brother.
Hey, someone's got to do it to you to get you to slow down.
Someone's got to do it.
I mean, you just listen, dude. There's so many examples of careers that have just gotten screwed from speeding, and like the negative consequences of speeding. And so it's like, it just feels like such a crazy risk. And I mean, listen, we're talking about guys that are risk takers. That is the inherent nature of all of these football players. These are guys that are willing to just throw it up in the air and see what happens.
They think they're invincible.
Yeah, they do. They literally do. And, that's what gets you to, cut between two blitzing defenders, scramble out and throw a 50-yard in the air pass to a dude down the field. That and this is the live by the sword, die by the sword, but just speeding specifically, man, there has just been so many direct examples of like it just destroying talented player. I mean, Henry Ruggs is the obvious one that's right on top. But
Rashid Rice.
And there's just so many, and it's honestly it's bigger than football. It's life in general. Bro did go 144 and 100, 144 and 101 and 91. He went all three.
He did.
If only he went 91 in the draft or 101 in the draft. Might have been happier. Might have had a little extra money to pay these tickets.
Oh, dude.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. Oh. Yeah. No, that's Racy Rice. That's true.
Yeah.
Yep. In Dallas. Like,
yeah, dude, that's crazy.
That's insane. Dallas is one of the biggest like metropolitan areas in the entire country, and you're gonna race on one of the busiest highways. Like, that's just insane.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. But listen, he has survived. Maybe he'll learn his lesson. Maybe he won't. Who knows, man? I don't know. You know, he's got to pay all of the tickets that he could get.
The one thing I'll say, like, you don't want your quarterback making bad off-field decisions, because that typically means they're going to make poor on-field decisions.
Yeah, you got to live like you play, right?
Yeah.
Practice how you play, live how you play. This man is fast. You know, he's in there with speed, which is good. All right. Speaking of in there with speed, it has nothing to do with it. I don't know why that was even. Let's talk about my man Christian Wilkins. You know, one of the Power Rangers, the legendary Clemson defensive lineman. Been with a few places around the NFL, notably the Dolphins and now the Raiders. Unfortunately, you know, he has come up with an injury that has the chance to be a definitely a season ender. If he has to get surgery again, it's like most likely a
Jones
season
fracture
thing. Yeah. So that is the problem. A Jones fracture is the problem. And hit one of these. So this is like, that's what it is. It's just this very specific spot on the foot that's like really hard to handle, which is such a crazy injury. And it's exacerbated, especially because we're talking about Christian Wilkins, who's a big dog. You know, this is a bub.
All that weight you're putting on your foot, like just walking, like let alone playing. You know, how big is he, Riley? He's 6'4", what? Like
he's 6'4". I know he fluctuates between like 290 and 305. Like, you know, that's a big dog. And, you know, that's not good. But so, you know, essentially the sources are that the team is saying that he needs a surgery and he's going to be done for the season. And Christian Wilkins is trying to keep himself, you know, out of that boat so he can, you know, get another season to play, which is all fair. But with an injury like this, it's a nagging injury that just won't go away unless you fix it.
Yeah. Like there is no like just recovery. You need to have the surgery.
I mean, I feel like Henry Ruggs actually just ran over his foot backing out of the parking lot, and that's what gave him the initial injury.
Probably. So Riley, the Raiders, they signed. So if you remember 2 years ago now, Christian Wilkins was one of the biggest free agents on the market, and the Raiders signed him to a 4-year, $110 million contract. One of the biggest contracts for a defensive tackle. And he is a stud. When he's right and he's healthy, he's a stud. But he only played 5 games last year because he got injured. Riley, how many times have we seen the Raiders sign like quote unquote big time free agents just for them to do absolutely nothing with the team?
It's crazy because it's not like they go out and just get clankers, absolute clankers where you're like, oh, this isn't going to work. Like Christian Wilkins, this is a freak incident, but it's insane that like this just keeps happening to him, you know?
Yeah. I mean, most notably, I think you have to talk about Antonio Brown.
Yeah, of course.
Signed a huge deal with them and then just never played. Like immediately requested a trade and lost out on all that guaranteed money and never played with them. You can go back to Warren Sapp. Once he left the Bucks, he went to the Raiders. Didn't really do a whole lot there. It just seems like this is the problem the Raiders are having. And I don't think it's necessarily the Raiders' fault. It's just like really fucked up circumstances.
Yeah, I agree. It's strokes of bad luck, continuous strokes of bad luck. And really, there's just so many things where it's like, is this actually an indicator? If it's that consistent, if your bad luck's that consistent, is that an indicator of a poorly ran organization? Well, the results would probably speak to that in certain ways. But yeah, I mean, this happening to Christian Wilkins, though, this is insane. This is a very unique injury, right?
Mm-hmm.
The outside of the foot, the way that it's broken, the nature in which it has to heal, all of this stuff is kind of unique in this situation. So, prayers out to him. I hope, I only want to see him doing great things. Like I said, the Clemson alumni, one of my favorite players, man, the Power Rangers, him, Cleveland Farrell, Sexy Dexy, Dexter Lawrence, one of my favorite groups to ever touch the football field.
It's true. I mean, this Buck brings up a great point.
Mr. Big Chest. Hey man, listen, I also call myself Mr. Big Chest. What's up, dude? what are we gonna do, Buck? Huh? What's up, dude? Mr. Big Chest.
Mr. Big Chest.
All right. Speaking of big chest, let's talk about the chest that Zaire Alexander got with the signing. This is another crazy one. We've talked about it after the draft. We've talked about it, last season, this season. The Ravens just have such a knack for getting better, Yeah. They really they find these kind of players. Now, Zaire Alexander is not the player he was a few seasons ago.
No.
But he is on a good deal. 1 year, $4 million, $2 million extra in incentives.
Mm-hmm.
Going into a secondary that is already got some names in it. Like this article alone is Marlon Humphrey.
One of the best corners in the league.
Let's go down the Zaire. It's now their secondary room is Zaire Alexander, Marlon Humphrey, Chidobe Awuzie, Kyle Hamilton, Nate Wiggins, and first-round pick Malachi Starks.
Yes. And if you don't know about Malachi Starks, go watch our draft profile on him.
Yeah, we did a great profile on him. We're going to learn a good bit about him in just a minute. But yeah, this team is doing this is what we call a properly ran organization. For all the shit we just talked on the Raiders, the Ravens, this is why they are perennial contenders, right? Like, as we talk about this, I'm gonna just pop this video of John Harbaugh squatting 405. The Ravens, Chidobe Awuzie, he does sound like a key appeal guy, and
he does.
I mean, he deserves to be in an East and West Bowl, so it fits. He's a monster. He earned it all the way. But the Ravens have this knack for just always trying to find better players, and I think it's in that entire organization. It's in their front office, it's in their coaching staff, and hell, I think it's in the players. I've heard multiple stories about guys on the Ravens being the kind of dudes that'll reach out to a dude and be like, "Hey, man, what are you doing? Where are we going? What's up? You want to come run it?" And, you've seen it in the past few years with big signings. Obviously Derrick Henry is the hallmark signing of this, and it's incredible signings. But bringing in guys like Zaire Alexander this year, and then drafting talented young guys like Nate Wiggins, like Malachi Starks. What were we going to say?
The thing about the Ravens, especially when it comes to the draft, a lot of teams, they pick needs. The Ravens are one of the teams, and they're so well run that they can just do this. They always draft the best player available, which is why they get guys like Kyle Hamilton and Malachi Starks. Like, why do you need 3 safeties? Motherfucker, they'll make it work. They will make it work because they are just such a properly well-run organization that you can trust their evaluations and they will get better just by drafting the best players available. And that's what they do. And honestly, man, like Jair Alexander, a lot of people probably don't know this. He played at Louisville with Lamar Jackson. So this has got to make Lamar so fucking happy.
I believe Lamar, talking about the players reaching out, like I was saying, Lamar was a big spur point to get Jair Alexander into the building. So, it's insane.
And Riley, we talked about this earlier, and I have to make this point. Isn't it crazy? Like, yes, the Ravens are an exceptional organization, and that's why they're always going to be a contender. But it's really hard to look that great when everyone else in your division is just sitting in the corner fucking eating glue. Like, and it's, dude, okay, so Riley, I mean, the Steelers, we know how we feel about the Steelers. I'm not sure Aaron Rodgers is going to really work. We don't even know who the Browns quarterback is going to be. Will it be Joe Flacco? Will it be Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders, Kenny Pickett? We don't know. The only real threat in that division for the Ravens, and they consistently have problems with them every year, is the Cincinnati Bengals and that prolific pass attack with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. Well, now you're just loading up on the fucking secondary. Yeah. I wonder why.
Yeah. They're loading up on the secondary, and the Bengals aren't securing the pass rush.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, the Ravens, they go, like, Lamar's already happy, but they go out of their way to get Lamar's guy just to make him happy. The Bengals, on the other hand, are just doing everything they can to piss off their star quarterback.
I mean, for sure. And, like, it's crazy. It's so accessible for these teams. Listen, $4 million is an incomprehensible amount of money to me. I will be honest. But to an organization like the Ravens that produces billions of dollars every single year,
it's nothing.
It's not that much. And they went out in 1 year, $4 million contract for a player that's going to make their star quarterback happy, for a player that's going to help their DB room, because there's a lot of young guys. And Alexander has ran the gamut. He has been a playoff corner. He has been an all-pro. He is a leader. Like, at a very minimum, you're paying just $4 million for a mentor. But I think this is a dude that can still play. He's got health issues. The Ravens have been notorious for being one of the better rehab programs in the league. And that's another thing that leads to this that you can't mark out. That's such a hallmark of great programs or great teams, is like they are great before the game, during the game, and after the game, right? They rehab their players well, they prep well, like all of that. It's all a big circle. It's a big circle. There's no ends. It's a circle.
Everything matters.
And so this Jair Alexander gets to come into a great spot. He gets to come into a room where he can be competitive and, actually boost the skill level of an already great room, which, it's hard to not be excited to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And, the Ravens just always trying to find a way to one up themselves and get themselves that much closer. I think, you're right. This is so obviously something to help stifle that insane passing game for the Bengals. But even more than that, there's been plenty of reports that these guys, they want to ice the Bills.
Yeah.
That is what this team wants. Like, with all their heart, these Ravens, they want to ice the Bills. Like, the Bengals, the Bills, and I can only assume the Chiefs. That's what they're going for, right? And so this is what they're doing.
Contender.
Exactly.
You have to beat those teams.
They're going to giant kill. That's what they want to do. They want to be a giant that can kill giants. And they keep doing the right moves. So,
And Riley, real quick, you brought up a great point. So the one thing about this, Jair Alexander, he's not what he used to be. And corner is probably the most notorious position where if you lose just a little bit of athleticism or you lose just a small step of who you were, it's probably the most noticeable on the field.
Yeah.
Because you just don't have that burst, that twitch that you used to, But in Jair's case, he's going to a loaded secondary, and you're right, he is going to be able to mentor Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, even a guy like Marlon Humphrey, who's been in the league for a while.
Nate Wiggins.
So, Nate Wiggins. They are loaded in the secondary. And isn't it crazy, Riley? I'm going to dig at another one of our punching bags real quick.
All right.
So, you get the young guys, you draft the young guys constantly. You get Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, Nate Wiggins, all these guys, all these young athletic dudes that are absolute ballers on the field. And then you get the veterans to mentor them so they can live up and go beyond their potential.
Yeah.
And that's what the Bears need to do with their offensive line. But of course, they have not done that.
No, yeah. Of course, the Bears have not figured it out. We don't know when they're going to figure it out. We don't know.
We don't.
I don't think it's going to happen.
No.
I've been talking to the Bears. They don't seem like a good organization. Not smart. Not very smart.
One of the worst. But yeah. I'm excited. Yeah. Yep. He's talking about Trayvon Diggs, the corner for Dallas. Yeah. He's talking about Trayvon Diggs.
Yep.
Look, I know what you're talking about. It's almost like I know ball.
It's almost like you do, but you don't.
Yeah.
All right. You know who else doesn't know ball?
Is it
the Jets?
Oh no! What did they do?
What's wrong with the Jets today? So this is just a fun thing. I saw them perusing the r/NFL Reddit.
TTT fun facts.
This is so terribly written.
It's so bad.
It's so terribly written. This was definitely written by someone who was English as a second language. So the Jets have the longest active playoff appearance drought. It's not even top 10 all time. So that's fun.
Here's what is.
Yeah, right. Here's what is. Just forget that. Like, if the New York Jets have another losing season this year, they will be tied for the 4th longest losing season streak of all time. So they are at 8, and if they lose another one, they'll be at 9. Wow. Yeah. That's insane. That's just what's wrong with the Jets today. They can't win football games.
They can't win football games, dude. It's almost like if you're trying to run an organization, just do whatever the opposite is that the Jets do. Whatever they do, just do the opposite.
Yeah, go find the Jets and then just do the difference.
Just load up on the offensive line, load up on the defensive line, get your bubs. Oh, Riley, is this what also was wrong with the Jets today?
I mean, listen, every time we talk about the Jets, I think it's obligatory that we, still can't go see their schedule. New year, same Jets. I'm going to do it every week.
I know.
I have to do it every week or every time we talk about it. Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you put them in a game that can't tie, and it'll be a never-ending football game. Just mediocrity. But yeah, so I guess the question is, do the Jets have a winning season in them?
I think they'll be better, but I don't think they'll have a winning season. I like what Aaron Glenn has done. I will be honest, out of the two coordinators that, out of the two Lions coordinators that got head coaching jobs, Ben Johnson and with the Bears, Aaron Glenn with the Jets, I really like what Aaron Glenn has done with the Jets. Way more than I like what Ben Johnson's done.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Glenn has been listening to the TTT. He's bulked up the trenches. Now he just has to, go get a quarterback. But I like Justin Fields. I don't know if he's your long-term answer, but I like Justin Fields.
Listen,
so
what do we've talked about how the Chiefs built their current dynasty about 1,000,000 times. And I can only help but think about, like, that's what you need. This is like they're in the right position, you know? Oh, I was like, damn, they don't have a depth chart yet. That makes sense.
No.
That one makes sense. And you know, if you're gonna build a team right, like you're gonna have just a quarterback that's just a quarterback, you know?
Mhm.
Like that's actually kind of a good sign. I mean, Justin Fields is a solid quarterback who can win football games. He proved that. And I don't think you could take that away from him. Last season, you know, I think the Steelers may have been foolhardy to just gung ho replace him with Russ. I don't know.
I agree.
I mean, history's out on that one. You know, we can talk about that one later. You know, that infamous decision. But Justin Fields, I think, is a damn good quarterback who can win football games, and he proved that.
The Bears never supported him.
Oh yeah, no. He was at the Bears previously. Of course, he didn't win anything.
Yeah.
So with that being said, that's what they have. They are building everything around. Like you said, they are investing in the trenches. They have a solid defense, and they're really trying their best to not lose that defense, and if not, make it better. But I think more specifically, try not to lose it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they are like a season, 2 seasons away from the point where then they can just go, here's the quarterback of the future, and potentially have a successful team. And I think, you know, Aaron Glenn, it's insane, right? When you have 2 coordinators from one successful team, right? And you get the offense and defense coordinator to go out and become their own guy.
Yeah.
I want to know the percentage on success of it being the defensive guy, because it's got to be like 70%.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, it's almost always the defensive guy that goes out and is more successful initially. And I think it's just because like the defensive coordinator mindset is a lot more based on building, because like that's just all that defense is. You know, offensive coordinators, they think about weapons.
They do.
And you can see that. Go look at the Bears, you know. It's
They still have yet to have a good offensive line. And Ben Johnson's like, no, more weapons. Let's get Colston Loveland, a tight end, when we already have one. Let's get Luther Burden when we already have 2 other wide receivers. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. And you know, like you said, the Bears, their only investment is in the old offensive lineman, which is, listen, Joe Thuney, he's got a season to, you know, prove that he is still who he is or who he was.
But he can't fix that entire line, though. Like,
I know. I'm just saying. That's just the best guy they brought in.
Yeah.
I guess that's my point. Like, and he's got a jury out on him. You know, he's got a verdict out that still needs to be rendered, because we don't know if he is in the wash train or not, dude.
We don't know. I mean, he's
in that zone.
He's a great football player, but he's older.
Yeah.
If you don't know how we feel about offensive linemen, please go watch our offensive line short.
Yeah, exactly. You got to invest in offensive line, and you have to invest in the draft. They got 1 offensive lineman, like, and their biggest problem, and it just it makes no sense. So that's what's wrong with the Jets.
I mean, look at the Ravens, dude. Like, they already have a really good secondary, and they continue to hit by getting the best player available. Now they have Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks. They go out, they get Nate Wiggins. Like, if you want to improve an element of your team, you do it through the draft. I always liken it. I don't understand a better way to put this, because I'm a college football coach. High school recruiting is how you do the bulk of your roster building in college. But now at the transfer portal, if you miss, because you're going to miss on prospects, you're going to misevaluate guys. That's what you have the transfer portal for. You cannot build an entire roster through the transfer portal. You don't have the relationships with them. You don't know. You don't know enough about those guys.
Truly.
And some of them are older. There's a reason those teams might have let them go. It's the same thing in free agency.
Yeah.
And in the draft, you get the bulk of your team through the draft, primarily in the first 3 rounds. You know, like if you want to have a high success rate, you have to hit in the draft over and over and over. And you use free agency to supplement holes that you have issues with. You can't completely rebuild an offensive line through free agency. It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Yeah. I mean, not long term for sure.
No.
You might get a season, you might get 2 seasons. Like, that's the thing, is like you can build a team out of free agency. And what I mean by that is you could get 1 season. I think the Rams kind of did that on that Super Bowl year. I mean, they went kind of all out in that organization. It's like, not that they have tanked, not like they're absolutely terrible now, but they, they're not competing for a Super Bowl like they did that 1 season, how dominant they were. And so you see teams do that, but you always, it's like doing dark magic, and like in movies and stuff, when there's always like a wizard or a sorcerer that does dark magic. Like the dark magic is very powerful, but the after effects, once you do it, they are terrible. They usually end up and you end like dying. It's like, it's always what it is, right? And like, so that's what the teams that build through the free agency, that's what they're doing. Like, it is very powerful. There are great players, and there's a lot of circumstances why players go. A lot of those players are, like you said, they are old players that their team just doesn't want anymore.
Yes.
And there's this small handful of guys that are like, just, I don't want to be here anymore. Great players that are just like, they don't like where they're at. Or, maybe the team doesn't have the money for them. It doesn't want to give them the money. And, so you get like a small basket of those guys, But besides that, you're wading through just the mid-tier of players. And that's not going to do you good work.
Think about this, right? And I always talk about this. I know I've said this before. First of all, no one in the NFL is going to know you better, know the type of player you are, than your current NFL team. And if they don't want you anymore, that says something. And here's the other thing. We all saw the Chiefs get absolutely dominated up front in the Super Bowl. Like the Eagles D-line is the reason they won that game. Because the offensive line was just turnstiles. They couldn't do anything. And the Chiefs said, okay, we're gonna completely rebuild this offensive line. Joe Thuney, we love what you've done, but you've got to go. We're sorry, but you've got to go. He's supposed to be the Bears' savior.
Yeah.
No, doesn't work that way.
Yeah. I mean, it is hard to put the woes of that Chiefs offensive line on him, but it's also true. Like, he was the first person to get the axe. Like that's what I'm saying. He was the first guy to catch the axe. And I think that does say something. But there's a lot of reasons at the same time. You never know. But
we could be wrong, but
it's a sketchy risk. They're taking a sketchy risk. No matter what, you got them for 2, maybe 3 years at the most. I mean, that's just a fact. Linemen don't last that long. Joe Thuney's been around, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, build from the trenches. Somehow this Jets conversation turned to the Bears, but all of them don't know how to do anything.
I mean, I think they kind of go hand in hand because
they do.
Yeah, they both were coordinators with the Lions.
Yeah.
And one's doing everything right, and one is just in the corner eating crayons.
All right, let's not go so far. One's not doing everything right. He's doing some.
I mean, for the Jets, it's a huge step.
I'm just
All
right.
No, you're right.
All right, let's talk about some other teams that's developing. And this is just a cool one. UFL.
The UFL.
Let's see if I do this. Will it show me? Give me the Jordan Ta'amu. Yeah.
Ta'amu.
By the way, Bryce Perkins and Jordan Ta'amu. Bryce Perkins, Luis Perez, Jordan Ta'amu. That was the MVP candidacy for the UFL this year. That's a crazy lineup. Crazy lineup of guys. The DC Defenders won the UFL. That's the only reason I was trying to say. But in the wake of that, I think this is just kind of cool. The Saints are bringing in 3 UFL players. Tight end Seth Green. That's just so funny. I gotta see this guy. This is Seth Green, right? That's the
Okay.
tight end that they're bringing. Oh man, no. It's just cool. Cool to see. Cool to see the UFL is actually doing its job, right? Like this is kind of when the merger happened between the XFL and whatever the name of the other one was. This is their intention, was to actually be a feeder for the NFL, to allow guys to kind of go in between the two and, on that low level, be the G League that the NFL didn't have. And, a lot of people have always said it's supposed to be college, but sometimes it takes more than just, that period of time, the 4 years in college. Sometimes people need a little bit more than that. And it's important to have something like the UFL where guys can go out and they can compete and, play in front of crowds still and have that energy around them. I think it's awesome. And, it's cool to see guys actually making the NFL from there.
You're most likely not going to find any high-end starters from the UFL, but you'll get practice squad guys, bottom of the 53-man roster type guys, which they're valuable as well. So it's just another way.
Lots of kickers.
Yeah.
That's not even a joke. It's just real. Lots of kickers. It's fun.
Bryce Perkins. That's a name that gives me PTSD as a Virginia Tech fan.
You still see his shadow in your stadium. All right, we've been talking about all these players. And we talked about the Jets. And if there's one thing you know about the Jets is that they use Madden to decide who their team is going to be.
True.
And with that being said,
shout out Chris Johnson.
We should go look at who the Jets should sign. Sorry, folks. The Madden NFL 26 ratings have just came out for the regular roster. The rookies are still on the way, but the adjusted roster for this season for all the previous players is in.
So look at the 99 club. First of all, you got Lamar Jackson, Travis Kelce, Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, and Trent Williams. The only guy I have a problem with is Travis Kelce. Like 2 years ago, yeah, absolutely. But he didn't have a good year last year. He really had a bad year by his standards last year. He looked old. He didn't look quite as athletic. He looked like he was an older veteran player. Yeah. I don't really understand putting him 99 overall. I don't get that.
Man. I mean,
I know what it is. They had to appease the Swifties. That's what
yeah, right. They had to.
Yeah.
No, I mean, listen, he is the space finding extraordinaire. He is still a valuable piece of that Chiefs offense.
Yeah.
And they just kept him there. I just think they were like, fuck it, we're not gonna touch him. We'll just keep it going. Try to save themselves a couple minutes.
How do you feel about Trent Williams being number 99 overall again?
I think it's interesting. I mean, listen, I believe in the Silverback. He's a great player. I think he's on the same kind of tip as Travis Kelce, where he's like he's in this club because he's been in this club. I don't know, man. See, but he balled with Alex Smith. You can't say that. He balled well before Mahomes got there, Buck. You're lying on Travis Kelce's name now.
Mahomes elevated him, but Kelce was still Kelce before Mahomes.
Yeah, for sure.
You
can't lie on a man's name now. You're going to get the Swifties after you. Josh Allen being a 98 is funny. They just didn't want to give it to him.
Even though he was the MVP, that is just fucking funny.
It is funny. Nah.
Lane Johnson, 98.
That's also, I mean, I think Lane Johnson deserves a 99 if Trent Williams is a 99, but, put that on me. Myles Garrett at 98, that makes sense. Micah Parsons.
I thought CD would be higher than Micah for the Cowboys.
You thought CD would be higher than Micah?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to think it's positional, though. How good is CD compared to the other wide receivers?
I don't think Micah is as good as Myles Garrett or TJ Watt.
They're not the same position. Well, TJ Watt, he might be. I guess they're both going to be outside linebackers, but Myles Garrett is technically a right end.
Yeah, but Micah Parsons is a pass rusher. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, no, for sure.
He's a pass rusher.
All these things matter in the ratings.
Mm-hmm.
These are the differences that make it. But I don't know. Micah Parsons is an elite player that can do a lot of things. I don't know. I mean, he's all over the field for the Cowboys, and I'm someone that never gives them credit for shit.
Buck, as the Cowboys fan here at the TTT, who do you think is better overall, Micah Parsons or CeeDee Lamb? I'm curious to know.
I think Micah Parsons is so much more valuable than CeeDee Lamb.
I get what you're saying, but
just in general, I don't know, man. Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb.
Micah disappears like at the end of the year. He gets a lot of his production in early.
The entire team disappears at the end of the year.
That's fair.
It's not just Micah. It's all of them. Can't blame him for that. Their entire team just disappears.
Oh, man.
See, thank you, Buck. That's it. That's to be real. It's the difference between, because like the way that their offense works, they do need a stud wide receiver, and CeeDee Lamb is a stud wide receiver. I'm really not trying to talk shit on CeeDee because he's an amazing player. But Micah Parsons just kind of means everything to their defense. When they don't have them, it's so obvious. That's true.
Yeah.
If he gets hurt, like when Micah Parsons is hurt, that defense is not the fucking same.
I mean, that's true.
It's night and day too. It's not close that they're not the same. Because you can tell it's just everything, man. He's in control of how they line up. You know, he's very vocal, like all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, no, I think Micah Parsons is way more valuable than CeeDee Lamb. Just because, like, I feel like, how many Micah Parsons are there in the fucking league? And how many explosive wide receivers could you swap CeeDee Lamb with and get the same production?
I think CeeDee is a top 5 receiver in the league.
All right, and how top?
I think Micah's
how
a top.
Is,
I'm not.
I think Micah's a top 3 outside linebacker, if not less.
I view him as a pass rusher.
But he does way more than that, though. I mean, I get what you're saying. He is but like in their scheme, like he does way more than that.
I mean, that's true.
They make his ass drop back. I mean, that was the big complaint about last year is he spent most of his time dropping back instead of pass rushing. So their defensive pass rush was not what it was the past few years because he wasn't doing it. He was dropping. They needed him to drop back more. And so, yeah, no, I feel like Micah Parsons does a lot.
That's fair. All right. That's fair.
Yeah. God damn, I just defended a Cowboys player. Fuck me,
dude. You did, dude. What is happening?
I'm loading
World War III, dude.
I'm loading it, and I'm sitting it right here. I'm just loading it, and I'm sitting it. not going to do anything. I'm just loading it and sitting it. All right. George Kittle makes sense. Jamar Chase.
Patrick Surtain. I love that. 97 overall.
Yeah, that's a great one. He is. Let's do this. Let's go look at positions.
Yeah.
Why is quarterback not the first one? Why is it in alphabetical order? That's crazy.
I don't know. That is weird.
All right, let's look at the quarterback list.
Patrick Mahomes is 4th. That's crazy.
I mean, it does make sense. I feel like you would argue maybe a switch between 2 and 3, but
yes, absolutely. I will give Josh Allen this. He won the MVP, so I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But Burrow is no. Like
Burrow is a dog. And Patrick's a dog. I think this top 4 makes complete sense, ratings and all.
Also, where is our boy Launch Fanatic? Because this is just another example of people thinking, like smart football people, saying that Joe Burrow is a much better quarterback than Jalen Hurts.
Oh, Jalen Brooks. Let's go see how he ranks. Hold on. Wait for it. I'll go find a guy. Yo, anybody out there, you want us to go look at a player for you? You want to find out what your guys are ranked? Let me know.
Yep.
68 overall.
Oh.
damn, dude, they hate Jalen Brooks, dog. They hate him.
Hey, Riley, you want to talk about hating? Go look at
Juice Farm.
Sunshine.
Oh, dude, hold on. Let's go to the Jacksonville.
This was
77
insane.
overall.
I mean,
All right, he's gonna be up here, right? Josh Allen.
oh, where is
Devin
he?
Lloyd. Wait,
Travis Etienne, 81, bro.
81. Brian Thomas is an 82. Logan
They have
Cook is the
Trayvon
fourth best
Walker,
player.
bro.
De'Ame Brown, 70,
Oh my
74 for Trevor Lawrence.
What?
Oh man.
That
74
is
overall it's disrespectful, kind of.
to add insult to injury, Riley. Who they say is one above him, like one rating point above him.
Who?
Oh, you got to go to the Bears.
All right, let's go find him. Also, the Chicago Bears, 80 overall, 3 better than the Jaguars as a whole. Top Bears, we're gonna go scroll all the way down here.
Oh, you passed him.
I did. 75, Caleb Williams.
They think that Caleb Williams is better than Sunshine.
And still, Caleb Williams is the 20th best player on this team. I mean, listen, dude. It's a funny list of players that they say are better than him. That's for sure. You're right. Center Drew Dalman, safety Jonathan Owens, left tackle Braxton Jones, who wasn't that great. Cario Santos from Brazil, their kicker.
Yeah.
Gervin Dexter, their defense, a backup defense tackle, I think, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
The rookie, they're not out yet.
Rookies aren't rated yet,
yeah.
Buck. Rookies are not rated.
They're all still like this. Their ratings are going to come out after training camp, I believe.
Yep.
So all we got is we have this year's balanced ratings for all the players that have been playing. But yeah, man, I mean, Montez Sweat, Roma Dunze, Kyler Gordon, Grady Jarrett. Didn't even know Grady Jarrett was still playing. Jaquan Brisker, TJ Edward, get up here, obviously, Joe Thuney. We talked about him, by the way. He's a 93 overall, but he is a guy that is on washout watch.
Yes. Yes,
be careful.
absolutely. Is there anyone else that we want to highlight, Riley?
Well, let's go look at the running backs. Let's go see the running back list. So obviously 299s out of the running backs and Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley totally makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Totally makes sense. Then you get Christian McCaffrey at a 95, even coming off an injury. Buck is correct, by the way. Roma Dunze. Nah, I'm just kidding. I liked Roma Dunze.
I like Roma Dunze. I think
he's pretty good. He's
on
a
bad quarterback and a bad offensive line.
I think Joe Mixon being a 94 is kind of crazy. I do like Joe Mixon, but I don't know. I feel like Jahmyr Gibbs is a better running back than Joe Mixon. I feel like Josh Jacobs might be Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor. Ooh.
Montgomery's an 85. Look at that.
Yeah, him being 85 is kind of crazy. I think he deserves like a 90.
Yeah. Bucky Irving, shout out Jack Lee.
Shout out Jack Lee, Bucky Irving in 83.
Damn, dude, A-Chain's lower than Bucky Irving? That's crazy. Wow, Travis Etienne's an 81. Dude, Riley, they hate Clemson players.
They do. Brian Robinson down here. Yeah, I feel like 95. I agree with you, Buck. I feel like 95 is a little high just because of his injury. I mean, I feel like he should be like a 92 because they got to give him like 12 injury. I mean, they gotta. My man's been having it.
Let's go to wide receivers.
All right, let's look at the wide receiver list. See if there's any fun ones.
And then we can do some bubs. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra. I'm really shocked they gave Amon-Ra his props. He's the third highest rated receiver. I really like that. Mike Evans in 94. Wow.
Scary Terry.
Wow.
He deserves that one.
AJ Brown's lower. Wow. That's kind of crazy.
Oh, Buck wants to see Tony Pollard.
Ooh, Buck wants to see him. Buck, we appreciate the feedback. Appreciate the chat.
86.
86. Wow.
Not much over there.
Back.
Yeah. Elusive back. Ooh.
For the Tennessee Titans.
Ooh. It is kind of fun to see their stuff.
Yeah.
Who isn't a big fan of Pollard? He's especially now that he's not a Cowboy, you know.
I'm a big fan of Pollard.
All right, back to what we were doing. Let's go back to wide receivers.
Wide receivers.
Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, Drake London, Puka.
Chris Godwin, 87. Damn, dude. T. Higgins at 86. You have Brandon Ayuk over, bro. What? Brandon Ayuk over T. Higgins and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Bro, what? Garrett Wilson deserves to be at least a 90, as does T. Higgins. What are we doing?
See, this is where you really get it. Where you're like, oh, what the hell is this? This is stupid.
Yeah.
Racy Rice.
Racy Rice.
Racy. Lad McConkey with the 83, but the superstar.
Hell yeah.
That's how you know he plays for a team that doesn't have a lot. They gave him a superstar. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
We
got to go to Bubs, right? Let's go to some Bubs.
The best left tackles.
Trent Williams. Tristan Wirfs. I was wondering where he was.
96. It makes sense.
Jordan Mailata. Laramie Tunsil. Shout out Commanders. Rashawn Slater. Christian Darrisaw. Let's go. Ronnie Staley. Garrett Bowles for the Broncos. Deion Dawkins. I think Andrew Thomas is low. I think Deion Dawkins is probably low.
Yeah, I feel like they both deserve to be in the 90s as well. Yeah. Honestly, I think Taylor Decker, too. I think Taylor Decker is like a 92.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude is an absolute anchor over there in Detroit.
Charles Cross.
We have an Austrian. Okay. Look at that. It's an Austrian. Bernhard Raymond. All right, let's see who the best center is. Yeah, okay. That's
Creed Humphrey. That's Frank Ragnow. Well, he's retired. Will he be in the game since he retired?
Yeah, but he won't be on the Lions. They usually have like the fresh retired dudes in the free agency. It's kind of fun.
Oh, okay.
It's always fun to go pick up a fresh retired superstar and just be like, give me one more season, huh?
Hey, Riley, you know what's crazy?
What?
You know, so Frank Ragnow, when the Lions drafted Tate Ratledge, Frank Ragnow was still a current Lion. But now that Frank Ragnow's retired, Tate Ratledge is probably going to start at center for them.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it crazy how you always have to replenish your offensive linemen?
Got to replenish the bubs.
You do, dude.
It's very important.
Crazy.
I got to say, the drop-off in centers is kind of wild, right? We go from 94, 92, 89, 88, 83.
I think Linderbaum should be higher. Linderbaum is a stud.
Yeah. Is this?
Oh, my God, dude. Drew Dahlman. Oh, man. And then you really kind of get to a drop-off.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got the Bengals offensive lineman. You got the Bears offensive lineman.
Crazy. Centers.
Who else?
That's the thing about center, right? When you're center, it really is. Like, you're like, all of a sudden, you can be one of the best.
I was going to say corner. That's my specialty.
Let's go. Yeah, we'll look at this. I just want to see.
Mark Andrews. Trey McBride. Shout out Jack Lee.
Trey McBride.
David Njoku, I think he's incredibly underrated just because he doesn't have quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But he's a freak. Like he is a freak athlete.
I feel like even like that's the reason why he's so high, because his production actually has been kind of low just because of, like you said, lack of good quarterback, consistent quarterback.
I think Laporta should probably be higher.
Yeah.
I really like Laporta.
Dalton Schultz too. I don't know. I think
Yeah.
Dalton Schultz is better than an 83. Kyle Pitts being an 81 is hilarious. Zach Ertz being a 79 is kind of disrespectful. My dog.
I think Isaiah Likely should be a lot higher.
I don't know, man. He had some good games, but he had a lot of the season where he just didn't do much.
I mean, he filled in nicely for Mark Andrews because Mark Andrews just can't stay healthy.
For sure. He did, but it's like he went long stretches without a lot of production. I had him on my fantasy team. I remember. This dude had 2 incredible games where I had him on the bench and then a rest season of mediocrity.
All right, chat. How are we feeling? What do y'all want to see? Thank you, Buck. 92. Thank you, Buck. He's
anybody got anything? Who's got some sauce for us? What do I want to see? I want to see.
All right. Let's go to corners. I just want to see corner.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. Cornerback.
Corners. Oh, think Pat Surtain. Jalen Ramsey should not be that high. That's kind of ridiculous.
This game does love him.
They love Jalen Ramsey. I really like Derek Stingley. Jair Alexander's still a 91. Wow. AJ Terrell.
They got that one wrong. Ain't no longer a Packer.
Yep.
Look at that Ravens. They got
Christian Gonzalez. Really like him. Devin Witherspoon for the Seahawks. Yeah.
Marshawn Lattimore.
Trayvon Diggs, 84. Cooper DeJean, 83. Okay.
Cheetah Bay Awuzie. I mean, dude, just on paper, the Ravens secondary is kind of crazy. Nate Wiggins is their worst player at 79.
And that's not even counting Malachi Starks.
All right.
Or Kyle Hamilton.
That's just a quarter. Yeah, as I say, that's just a quarter.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Buck wants to see the Panthers.
He wants to see the Panthers.
78, not the worst that we've seen today.
Definitely not the best. Oh, that is so disrespectful. First of all, Derek Brown is a true D tackle. What, man, what are you doing? Derek Brown is at least a 92, a 93. I get it, he's coming off an injury, but for the longest time, he was the only good player on that defense. Oh.
I did not know Chuba Hubbard was Canadian. It does make me look at him different. I do want to look at him different now.
This is just, overall, it's not a good team, dude. Like, it's just not. Just kind of a bunch of guys.
Xavier Leggett. Damn, where is the dude? Where
who? Bryce Young?
Oh, there he is, 75. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was like, dude, there's no way he's this low.
They think insane. Bryce Young is just as good as Caleb Williams. That's kind of crazy.
All right. One last thing before we go. I mean, we gotta start, bench, cut. A classic one. Hold on. Let me do this. Classic one. Start, bench, cut. Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith.
Shout out Buck for this one.
Shout out Buck.
Buck, let us know what you think of this one because this was yours. This is really tough.
I mean, this is an incredibly tough one, right? We once again, when you're doing these start bench cuts like this, and we're doing it with absolute legends, it is hard, right? Because you're going to be cutting someone that doesn't deserve to be cut. That's just a fact.
This is probably going to be controversial. I am going, and Buck's probably going to yell at me.
Oh, we're doing the same thing then.
Yeah. I am cutting Emmitt Smith.
Yeah! Cut Emmitt Smith. Fuck the Cowboys.
Because that Cowboys offensive line is one of the best ever.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure he averaged about 4 yards a carry before contact. And I get it, he's the NFL's leading rusher all time, but he just had such a dominant offensive line, and he was a great running back, and he fit that offense perfectly.
Yeah.
But he's not Barry Sanders, and he's not Walter Payton. So I'm cutting Emmitt Smith.
So now the real question is, who starts and who is benched?
This is really fucking tough.
I mean, it's a hard one, dude. You got Sweetness. Yeah, I mean, the guy that's got a trophy named after him, which, I've been very adamant. If you got a trophy named after you, you're a dog. And then Barry, dude. Barry Sanders, a name that's synonymous with the running back position, a name synonymous with football, a name synonymous with an entire organization. You think the Lions, you think Barry Sanders.
When you think Bears, you think Walter Payton.
Do you?
I mean, you probably think defense. And then
I was about to say,
yeah,
there's a lot of players that you can go to. Brian Urlacher,
Devin Hester,
Devin Hester. I mean, I don't even think about him. Gale Sayers,
Mike Singletary,
Mike Ditka,
Mike Ditka.
Anyways,
this is tough.
This is tough, man. Fuck. I mean, Sweetness is an absolute legend. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start Sweetness, Walter Payton. I'm gonna bench Barry, and then I'm gonna cut Emmitt Smith. And I'm only doing that just out of the concept of imagine Barry Sanders coming off the bench. Imagine how demoralizing that would be. But Sweetness is an I mean, a freak before freaks were really in the game. Like, he played at a time where most of the people were just guys. And sure, maybe that's a reason why he was so dominant, but at the same time, he was so dominant where I believe he'd be an outlier no matter what era he touched the field in.
Well, do you want to – it's crazy you bring that up, Riley. Can I tell you a quick story? I don't even know if you know this.
All right.
So there's a story when Barry Sanders was at Oklahoma State in college. He was the backup to future Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
Yep.
They both went to Oklahoma State. And Oklahoma, who was Oklahoma State's huge rival, their head coach, Barry Switzer, said, I don't want you to hurt Thurman Thomas, because if this kid Barry Sanders gets in the game, we won't fucking touch him. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And because of that, oh God, I think I'm going to take, I really wanted to take Walter Payton because I love Little Sweetness. I love Sweetness, but I think I'm going to take Barry.
It's a hard choice.
Barry did all of that with a really bad offensive line. Like, dude, imagine Barry behind the current Lions offensive line. He would rush for 3,000.
Imagine Barry behind one of those, like, oh, dude, imagine like Barry behind the Hogs, but like one of the Barry behind like Emmitt Smith's offensive line in Dallas. Yeah, nah, I feel like I understand it. I mean, we're choosing an apple or another apple. Honestly, it's not even apples and oranges. You're choosing between a Golden Delicious and a Grandpa Smith. Which one's your poison?
I think I don't feel bad about cutting Emmitt, but I don't want to bench Walter Payton, but I think I'm going to take Barry Sanders. I'm going to start Barry, bench Walter Payton, cut Emmitt Smith, just because Barry Sanders did all of that damage with a bad offensive line. Especially, like, imagine in today's offenses where everything's all spread out and you have a light box to begin with.
Oh, spread out light box.
Yeah, dude.
That's how I like everything in my life. Spread out light box. All right.
Barry, you're not touching him.
No, you're not, dude. You're not touching Barry. All right, folks. Well, we appreciate y'all for sticking around, tuning in, and enjoying this Trash Talk Tailgate live stream. This has been a beautiful one, a fun one. Thanks for the interaction, Buck. But we appreciate everybody for watching. If you don't mind, please drop a like on this live stream for us, man. We'd appreciate that so much. Comment on it. Come back and watch it again. Watch a bunch of our other content. We're pumping out shorts all the time, so keep your eyes open for those. Comment on them. Show, if you find one that you really like, send it to a friend. That'd be awesome, man. Share it around. But most importantly, keep coming back and keep enjoying these TTT live streams. For me, the Puddin', Riley Puddin' Peters, and the Doctor, Preston Rowe. We're going to have a great day. We got to clean up and get out of here, y'all. Peace.